Hey guys, welcome back to the video. As you can tell, the lights are off. That means spooky time. All the lights. That light right there kept on flickering. No more. I got one of these lights, I guess. It does this. Ooh, dark. Light. It switches colors. Oh, I have one of these. It's pretty cool. I can up the brightness. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is cool. Ow, freak! I can change the color. It's blue and purple. Okay, we're gonna leave it at white. I really hope you enjoyed. I really hope you enjoy it, and this is where we left off.
I hate my hair. It's so plain and boring. Mousy brown and poker straight. The only thing it has going for it is its length, which is midway down my back. Still, it's impossible to put it in any other style than the one I've been sporting since I was 12. Loose and parted in the middle. Plain hair framing a plain face, which is why, on a Friday evening, I'm sitting cross-legged on my bed, listening to Stevie Wonder records and idly running a brush through my hair. Instead of being on a date, like my doormate, Rachel, who's blonde and bosomy. Sighing and tossing the brush aside, I pull on a cardigan and go out for a walk along the campus. Outdoors is dusky and tepid, with a gentle breeze lifting the strands of hair I so loathe.
This is
My head
loud,
down as I walk,
but I'm gonna
avoid
make it as
anyone
loud
I
as
might
I
know.
can so y'all can actually hear
Just not in
this.
the mood for
I
any
really hope y'all can
interaction.
hear this because it's hurting my ears.
I bumped into him. I can hear the thumbs of books falling on the ground. Immediately, I bend down to retrieve them. Apologies tumbling from my lips. I'm so sorry. Wow, he's good looking. Really good looking. Unlike the boys I've seen around here. Thick, dark hair. Great bone structure. So well dressed. Oh my god. Now I really feel
right.
bad. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's fine. His voice is smooth and deep, with a faint accent I can't quite place. I'm the one who thought I could carry all of these books with just one arm. I don't realize that I'm still holding onto the books until he reaches for them. Here, let me. I'm not sure where my boldness is coming from. I don't socialize with boys all that much. But despite him being the best looking guy I've ever seen, my ability to talk is as easy as breathing. Where are you headed? I can carry these for you if you like, so you don't drop them again, I said. His smile is knee-weakening. I would like that, very much. I'm just heading to my car, he
Oh
said,
no!
jerking his
No!
head
No! No!
in
No!
the
No!
direction
No!
of the
No!
parking
No!
lot.
No!
On the way there, he complimented my hair. I responded by blushing
Car.
and dropping my head
It's not always
so it
about
falls
that.
in my face like a curtain, telling him how much I hated it. Well, I think it's just lovely, and I believe him. We reach his Volkswagen Beetle, still feeling bold as I watch him unlock his car. I say, I'm Sabrina, by the way. What's your name? Theodore. He opens the door and turns to look at me. This time, his smile is accompanied by an odd hardness in his eyes. But you can call me Ted.
Is this real? Wait, what? Dang. 30 days. Why would you? Why will you?
Good deeds really don't go unpunished, huh? I thought to myself, staring at the symbols on my left hand. All I did was help an elderly woman carry her baggage to her car. It was just a random act of kindness. I wasn't expecting anything in return. I wasn't expecting her to tell me that I was going to die. I wasn't expecting a timer to appear on my hand to keep track of it. The old woman then said this before she left. You should be thankful, young man. Humans become complacent in life, falsely assuming that their lifespan will be long and healthy, unknowing that their times can be much shorter than they think. By revealing your untimely death, I've given you the opportunity to avoid that path. Live your remaining life to the fullest. Live without regrets. The timer was the only thing keeping my denial in check. Nobody else could see it but me. It took a few days to accept this fact, but eventually I took action. With 21 days left, knowing my death gave me enough courage to confess to my crush in college. I was unceremoniously rejected. In hindsight, I guess being rejected was the better option than being in a couple for just a few weeks. With 13 days left, I've been volunteering to be a dog walker for the shelters. I've done this enough times that they get excited when they see me in the shelter. If I had enough time, I would have adopted one.
That's
With 5
sad.
days left,
Oh no.
I've gotten pretty close with my younger sister. This took a while, as she considered my change of attitude towards her very suspicious. Couldn't exactly tell her nor my parents that I was passing away soon, with no proof to show. Eventually, she opened up to me and made me realize how little I actually knew about my younger sibling. And now, here I am, just a few minutes before midnight, before my last day starts.
Oh, freak.
I've already went to the bank to make sure my sister inherits my accounts. I've written a note for my parents to see, explaining my situation and how much I love them. Everything was set. As I was
Is
getting
nothing
ready
gonna
for bed,
happen?
my phone started to vibrate. It was an emergency alert message from the government. Emergency. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration has reported that a Vesta-level asteroid is heading towards Earth. The asteroid is said to impact Earth within 24 hours.
Rest in peace.
PayPal and Venmo touch-free payments, now accepted at CVS stores nationwide. Get a $10 reward when you make a touch.
Get it.
It was raining. I think it was. Or maybe my face.
I just got water all over. Water's not over in this, which is nice. But yeah, this is it's not creepy, but like my PS4, like my TV's on. The TV's on. Not it's dim now. But if this wasn't on, freak, that's what y'all would see. That's freaking creepy as freak. I need to turn that on real quick. And it
Was soaked from my own unrelenting tears.
I really hope you can hear this.
There were a few people present at my father's funeral. He wasn't well liked, but he always tried to please others. I was just there for closure. He made me miserable. Sighing heavily as the last clumps of dirt were packed atop his grave. I lowered my head and touched the headstone, leaning down to say goodbye again to voice how I will never forgive him for all the emotional abuse. A searing, pulsating pain on the right side of my head. Then, darkness. I'm in a cramped place. I can barely move. What the? There's someone here. I dig through my pocket to use my phone to see where I am. It makes no sense. I look around and scream. I'm in the casket. I taught my father. Then, movement. Light goes on. The fabric on the lid seems to glow. My heart is thudding in my head. Panic grips my entire body. I move the fabric aside to see a screen. I gingerly touch it as clicking and motorized sounds from all around me fill the small space. I fell, like falling off the edge of a mattress on the ground. My father's body is gone. The screen flickers as my father's face comes into focus.
My dear Ava, my body has been shattered by this disease, but I've been offered another chance. But, it comes with a price. Blood for blood. I made a deal with the devil. You were destined to do many good things. Your spirit is pure. The devil offered my life in exchange for yours.
My eyes widen in terror.
You won't be dragged to hell, no, but you will live out the short remainder of your time in this casket. As long as the oxygen lasts. Maybe that is of small comfort.
I screamed and pounded the lid in panic, fully knowing
That
it
would
was
be
pointless.
awful as freak.
That bastard. This can't be real, I thought.
The body wasn't mine, but a fake made to be a placeholder, so that suspicion do not arise. You deciding to have a funeral with a closed casket did help to avoid any questions.
I sobbed. I screamed. Then I remembered my phone. I tried to call my fiancée, who went to wait in the car. No signal.
I do feel badly, Ava dear, that this is the only way. As a precaution, a signal jammer has been concealed in the hardware outside the casket. And
my vision blurred. My chest felt tight. Slamming the screen with his vile face made his voice shudder when the device turned off. Darkness. Silently, I cry, knowing no one will find me. Despair. I sob quietly as the air feels thicker. I gasp. The sweetness of oxygen becomes less and less. And then I just feel
That would suck in real life.
Stop whining, I hissed. You're going to do whatever it takes to repay Miss Clover for the damage you caused. You'd thrown, or kicked, or battered a baseball through her front window pane, obliterating framed photographs, piano keys, candlesticks, and tiny crystal animals. Thousands of dollars of damage. It was just his latest calamity. I gave the doorbell another poke. What will she make me do, though? Whined James. Clean up the mess you caused, for starters. Then, I don't know. Maybe some weeding up back, helping unload groceries, polishing shoe leather, whatever she needs help with. Finally, Miss Clover's silhouette peered through the frosted glass of the front door. Prayed it open cautiously, craning her neck past the door jamb. So sorry again, Miss Clover, I said, poking James forward. But James is here to make things right. She held her head high, literally looking down her nose at him. Is that right, James? She asked. James looked at me. You can answer yourself, I prodded. He gazed up at Miss Clover. Yes, ma'am. She allowed him the hint of a smile, cast the door wide.
Scared the freak out of me. I'm trying to do something.
I'll be back at 5, I called. I'm not sure Miss Clover heard me over the slamming front door. I arrived a bit late, but I figured it might serve James well to prolong his torture a few minutes. It took 3 or 4 rings for Miss Clover to materialize, but when she did, she looked very pleased. Has he repaid his debt? I joked. Oh, she sighed. There's still work to be done, but James was very helpful. Mind if I take a look at the state of things? I asked. Please, she answered, beckoning me into the parlor. The place looked immaculate. All the crystal creatures had been swept up, pictures framed, candlesticks replaced. 2 of the piano
I did not
keys,
mean to do
I
that.
noticed, were still cracked and broken. These were ivory, weren't they? I asked. Alas, yes, Miss Clover answered. I can grind up a good replacement. I've still got an old molding. It won't be quite the same as ivory, though. Shame, I nodded, frowning in solidarity.
The freak was that?
Is it alright if I take James home then? For today, at least. Oh, yes, she said brightly. I think he's given everything he can. You may want to wait a spell, though. He's still icing his lips. I halted mid-step. His what?
Icing
Daddy?
his...
I heard James call, a noticeable lisp in his voice. He bolted into the parlor, his face puffy and red. He wrapped his arms tight around me.
Oh
What?
my
What did
gosh.
you do to him? Miss Clover furrowed her brow. I took what was owed, she said. It was then that I noticed the bronze-plated plate beside the piano bench, the heavy iron pliers inside, and there, in a cluster at the bottom of the bucket, 20 pearly white milk teeth, some still pink with blood.
Oh my gosh.
I sipped my white wine and waited for the next speed date. These short, sweet, and simple interactions were just what I needed after finally getting rid of my god-awful nightmare of a husband once and for all. There were plenty of better fish in the... Wait, here swims one now. He was kind of short and certainly older than my 36 years young, but his stride was confident and his smile easy. Reba? He asked. Henry, I replied, shaking his offered hand.
After this, guys, we're
He
gonna watch
sat
Electrical Boom. You've seen that, so
what do you do?
can't wait to watch
So
that.
life
I just want to
insurance.
laugh. I don't want to be
It's like-
scared anymore.
Slightly disappointed by
I'm not
his generic
scared.
opening.
This is not scary at all. I don't know why I call it scary
I'm
episode.
a psychic.
Oh, I parked up. That's different.
Reading people's lives and futures? It certainly is.
I see. And are you reading me right now? Is he being honest or just flirting? I wondered. He smiled mysteriously.
If you like.
He put his hands palm up on the table. They were surprisingly weathered and scarred. This was moving quite fast. but I guess it was speed dating after all. I took his hands. He closed his eyes.
You drive a red car. Your company starts with a G. You have three siblings. You're 36?
He opened his eyes. I removed my hands.
Well,
I leaned back, sipped my wine, and considered my words. That's very good, Henry. And quite correct. However, I don't really know you, and that sort of information can be easily reached these days. So you'll forgive me if I'm a bit skeptical. He smirked.
I'm glad you said that.
He said softly. I glanced at the wall clock. Oh, why? This time, he didn't take my hands and kept his eyes open.
When you were 6, you caught a spider and released it into your friend's bedroom as a prank. Unfortunately, the spider was poisonous. Your friend was bitten, and he almost died. You kept this a secret, and he still doesn't know you did it.
I stared at him in shock. His memories came flooding back. I had never told anyone that story. Before I could reply, he continued.
Also, you're still married, but separated from your husband.
Dang.
My whole body tensed. This wasn't fun anymore. Well, he was an abusive asshole, but you already knew that, right? I said.
Is that why you asked your sister to hire someone to kill him?
Cold fear immediately gripped my
Oh
stomach.
my gosh, let me.
I could barely breathe. How did you?
Because, Miss Legoff,
Gosh darn.
He said, leaning forward.
I am the man she hired.
His face twisted into a smug leer. What do you want?
Well, do you remember the handsome fee you paid for my services? After meeting your husband, a fascinating man with many amusing stories, he offered me double that amount to kill you. So what I want to know is, do you have an even better counter offer for me?
Panic tore through me. Please, sir, I don't.
Well, alright, this might be the same thing, but it's an hour long, so. It's still funny.
Oh, I think the gap between the wires is a little bit too wide for the 2 kilovolt to jump across. Ow! Funny. I can turn on a blown fluorescent lamp using wireless power and a sophisticated Tesla circuit, and I can't figure out how it works. Ooh, high voltage. Here's the capacitor. Ready?
That's cool.
Oh, so don't do this at home. Now we'll have high voltage as I'm holding a match there. Let's give it a try. Whoa, 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 whoa. So don't do this at home. Now as soon as I turn on this one side to the filament, and I'm going to carefully touch the other side of the filament. And what if I add some sparklers to it? It's getting there. Oh my god!
Oh no, an ad freak you.
Now let me measure the output of the transformer. I'm using a resistor divider to step down the voltage first to protect my multimeter. Now if we measure that, it is... I don't really need them though. If you remember, I made my own taser back in my old video. The arcs can jump well. You don't bring your finger close to a stun gun when it's running. Okay, let's slowly raise the voltage and see what happens. Yeah, there is something. Oh!
Oh my gosh. That easy?
This is not water and baking soda, it is lighter fuel. Always read the labels. I've borrowed an ESD gun and I've set it to 25 kilovolts, and I'll bring a ground wire close so that the arcs start jumping. And then I can measure the air gap using my arcs created by my circuit. They're in order of 100,000 volts, and yet the only sound you hear from the plug it in. Now the circuit is hot and the voltage is on the plug it in.
Ow!
Let's try it
Freak!
out. Wow, this is wild. You can see how far now.
This hurts!
This gap is quite wide. Let me measure it. Oh, tonight? No, I'm completely free to. Oh, tonight? No, I'm completely free to. The skin here is quite sensitive to temperature, and you can tell the temperature quite accurately. And see what happens. Oh, what did I do? A pretty harmless voltage. And I'm gonna
I can't.
pretty harmless voltage. And I'm gonna plug it in and see if I can hear a communication. Let's dial. Oh. Phew. I put 48 volts across a 16 volt capacitor.
This is funny.
It's not even
If this
warm.
was a try not to laugh challenge, I would have failed.
And here is the circuit I designed. Voltage level and increase the frequency all the way to 60 hertz. I shocked my ass sitting on these live wires. Always clean up the lab, otherwise something. Finally, let's power it up. To use my angle grinder to sharpen the spoon. Oh, I can feel my hair rising. Something zapped me right in the ass. Okay, now let's. Always be aware of your surroundings. Now to improve the airflow, it's better to raise the lamp. Don't put your hand in the running fan ventilation, as I will show later. Wow, the result was negligible. Yo. Okay, let's hope I sealed everything well. I'm done, man. My plexiglass just broke in half under the pressure. Hell? The hell? Why bad things happen to good people? Go. Go. Peaks. Then they feed that into a full bridge rectifier and a capacitor that it seems quite rigid and solid. Is this expert enough? Oh, right. The polar capacitors are no good for reverse voltage. Fine, I have a bunch of ceramic capacitors. Okay, now I have the entire circuit, and if I connect the AC input... Oh, that's awful. You see, they start to get red as the head hits it to the output of my auto transformer. I should... and burn my fingers again. Let's see. Oh. I'm starting to think coming up with the idea of a light bulb didn't require much genius. In fact, the dumber you are, the more likely you are to invent a light bulb. So that the arcs start jumping. And then I can measure the air gap using my by this induction cooktop. Power out of it. I'm measuring the capacitor voltage and it's around... I killed it. Don't short the voltage at the output. Holy the capacitor. Gun here simulates a human finger. Here we have... It is important that after you use your meter in current mode, you switch it back to voltage, otherwise it will short your circuits. What's up with my circuits and all this smoke? Life is a piece of shit. Isn't it just a genius design? Okay. It seems like everything is in order. The circuit is not warm. Everything is good. It seems like everything is in order. The circuit is not warm. Everything is good. Okay, let's do it. And I had to buy 10 foot of this PVC pipe because I only needed 3 inches. So at the end of the video, I'll give away 117 inches of... No. Let's see if it can take the heat. I can say that the voltage of the dome can be over 200,000 volts. And that's just the voltage when it... Because I've seen worse.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer. Every night, I can feel my leg and my arm.
I have my capacitor and diode here, and I'm probing across the diode. Now if I connect the circuits together...
What?
Open the cell phone without breaking anything. Where the are those Phillips screws? Try to turn it on and retrieve all the data available. Find and identify the broken chip. Order new part and replace it. Put the phone back together and it would work like a charm. I wonder what it is. How hot is it? Wow, 135 degrees Celsius. This is a supercapacitor rated for 2.7 volts and it is 400 farad. Stop yelling at the camera! You thought the cap was gonna blow? Oh no, 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 this is expensive, be careful. Short the supercap. Of course the resistance of this wire is gonna limit the current through the supercap. I totally burned my finger. First I have to set up a spot for my scope so it doesn't get dirty. Now I disconnect the battery positive to replace it with the capacitor. Blades are broken. If I break 2 opposite blades...
Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like the video, and I'll see you in this video. Peace out.